Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Hear things on the stream end of things. Oh, there we go, there's that. Someone double check for me if music and or voice is too loud on Twitch. Let me turn off my Discord join sound before that kills people. Actually, might be too late. Oh no! You join user leave. There we go. Both the Campfire voice chat channel and the chat room should be open for people to type in and join. I can give it a few for people to submit questions into the docs, the sheets, and for more people to join before we actually start. So far we have 2 devs with us other than myself, so 3. We have Tybe, who's usually here with me, and we also have Doom. I think Warp will be here soon too, we'll see. How are y'all doing today? Doing good.
Not amazing, honestly, but I can stick around for a while.
Yeah. Just another day, at least for me in the winter, so I guess good is relative. It's cold, kind of dreary.
Yeah.
And monkeying around with GitHub a little bit more today than usual, but otherwise. Jira says, let me swap to my Derpy account. Okay, Derpy. We'll see you there. I'm not sure exactly when the next time Derpy will be able to show up for one of these. I know he's getting pretty busy. Jimmy says I'm out here catting a shelf mount bracket that broke. Nice. I used to do a little CAD once upon a time.
Yes,
SolidWorks.
someone is asking about the hyperdrive sounds.
Hyperdrive sound?
Oh,
okay.
That's intentional, yeah.
Yeah, so sound effects haven't changed. It's just that when the game speeds up 3 times, the sound effects play up 3 times. You're not hearing a different sound, you're hearing the same sound sped up 3 times, which is, I mean, that's kind of how speed up works. If you go to a lot of other games that have modes that speed up the gameplay, the sounds speed up with the gameplay, and that just so happens to be what our sounds sound like sped up.
The sounds definitely weren't designed to allow for that.
Yeah.
It's a bit strange, but
I think it's just something to get used to, because you change it back. If you want to manually change it back, you can go into your files and delete all the sound effects that have. Did you put 3x by them, or?
yes, I think. Yeah,
sorting it first. Yeah, I think that's why I think it's a. Overall, it's a matter of just getting used to it, because for 8 years or so, Endless Sky did not have the sounds move as fast with the speed up. But if you want to manually remove it, you can go into your local files and in your sounds folder, delete any sound that has it at 3x after it. Yeah. Real expansion when? I'll get to that someday. they're not going to be much expanded from where they are now. I'm going to say that they're meant to stay dead. They're not going to take over the galaxy or anything. Or make a
But
plugin.
maybe they did before they died.
Yeah, just make a plugin replacing 3 times sound with the normal one. Yeah, you could do that too. That's a bit more additive. It's not destructive, so you're not removing stuff from the game's files. You're just overwriting them. So that's probably a better idea.
Yeah. It is wasting memory, though.
Yeah. Oh, let me take off the starting on Twitch. I'd say we're started now. Scottish Broheim on Twitch, first time chatter. First last rides again. Hello. Thought stream hadn't started. That's also my problem for leaving starting soon on. But yeah. Wait, is it 3 times speed without custom build now? No.
I think that has been a thing for like 5 years, 10, something.
The current speed up is 3 times speed. Some people think it might be double the speed, but no, it's actually 3 times.
Oh yeah, that is a bit confusing, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, people. I don't recall if it was
we also say that.
Go ahead.
We also say that the game runs at 30 FPS, but it's actually 32.
Yeah. Should remove fast forward. I know some people have been asking for a slower mode.
Yeah. Also for better posing sometimes.
I'm not sure how we'd go
pause
about that though.
I mean, usually you can just press escape and that's one way to pause, I suppose.
Yeah. Sounds like a great idea, says Scottish. I guess my only thought with slow mode is I don't know how we would do it, because doing 3 times slow might be too slow, and if we do just 2 times slow over 1 times, which is, normal speed, that's not consistent with the 3 times speed up. So, I mean, I'm not sure what all we would do with that. Crowd Control says removing the hold fire command was bad enough. We're still looking at getting that fixed.
Yeah, Tom actually has put a lot of work into that.
Tom's been doing a lot of work on GitHub. A lot of good work. And bad work. Horrible work. Not kidding.
Well, there was a bug in that orders refactor.
I don't really do more on the code side of things, but I don't think I've ever had a problem with anything Tom's made. It's a lot of good features or work on stuff we don't have time to always get to. So, Scottish on Twitch says half speed makes sense. Yeah, I mean, it does seem a little odd to have half slower and then 3 times faster, but I mean, I wouldn't say that that's like a limiting factor. So we can see about that. Then there's me not knowing fast forward existed for 200 hours. It is on a funky key. It's on the caps key. The reason it's on the caps key is that's where it was for the EV series, which the game is inspired by. So for people who like find Endless Sky on its own, it is kind of a weird key to find out. Other people are also finding out. Let me open on my other monitor here these submissions, but it does look like we're going a little free form here in the chat.
Yeah. We did get the stable update out last week, but
yeah,
I don't think there is much that we have to talk about here. Just minor bug fixes.
Mostly bug fixes, some balance changes, but not like big ones. Where like I made a free roads balance change PR, which is a lot bigger than say changing a couple numbers on a ship or something. Which, I mean, ship balance can, like, even with a few numbers, be pretty decently, like, like a decent change. It just depends, but nothing crazy. Do you want to keep answering questions in chat, or do you want to start going through the submission list first and then go back to chat?
Well, there's actually quite a few questions in the chat, so I
There
think you can
are,
just stay
yeah.
here for a while.
Okay.
and-
Can the speed up state be reversed from the caps lock key state? Says Galam.
Oh, so you want to be able to tab out, press caps lock, and tab back into the game, and not have the state change in the game, like it used to be.
It used to be like
Yeah,
that. We ended up
I
changing
used
it.
that a lot as well, but it was kind of broken on a lot of
Yeah.
systems.
Yeah, it was kind of problematic, so we changed it to be the other way.
Yeah.
Started playing on
Yeah,
unofficial mobile port and speed up is pretty clear. Well, that's yeah, that's more so like you say, it's unofficial. It's not really the same with like PCs. So yeah. Sorry, were you gonna say something? Type.
Just for the caps lock thing, that the easiest solution is probably to not have it on caps lock.
Yeah.
You can change it, and I think you can have it on numlock,
Numlock?
and it's just gonna work.
Well, what about
I think you
computers that
don't.
don't have keypads?
Do you have scroll lock? I wonder if that works. I actually don't know.
It's kind of a funky button to put it on. Selling a Sky branded external keypad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, changing binds is probably the best idea. Yeah.
You could just put it on any random key, I
Yeah.
suppose. You just won't get those lights on the keyboard, and I always like that.
Okay. Doom added the new species being added. When you say a new species is being added, it's the most recent species was the Abgi that has been added, but there's no plans for an immediate new species to be added because we do want to look more at existing content for a little bit.
And this might actually be a good place to bring up the Quark rework that has been going on for a while.
I kind of want to bring that up a little bit into this stream instead of right away.
You made such a nice segue and everything.
Like, okay, do you want me to get into it right now?
No.
Okay,
it's fine.
I think it's good to talk about after we get through the questions, and then maybe people might have more questions after that about it.
Oh, but people are asking about the carrier. Will the Republic carrier get a redesign? The graphics doesn't resemble its carrying capacity. I suppose that's true. That was changed a lot recently.
It probably won't get a redesign. The thought behind it getting double the fighters, I don't think it needs one because the bays that the fighters are located in on the design are actually like visibly twice the size of the drone bays anyways. So like those technically 2 big boxes. No, it's 4. Like on the inner part of the wings, and then the smaller little squares on the outer part of the wings would be for the drone bays. So it kind of fits that the bigger square bays fit double the fighters now. But I think the carrier design's fine. I don't think it needs to be updated or anything. Want to give our new mod and CEO shout out? Yes, I do. So we have a new Discord mod, which is let's see. How do you want me to say this? I can just say Banana Scone, which is what I know you by most. Banana Scone's a new Discord mod. Congratulations to them. And we have our new community organizer, which is Zora, who's been a long-standing core member in the Discord as well. So congrats to both those two. Speaking of Zora actually started this little tournament thing going on in Discord. I've only been seeing little peaks of it, but kind of pitting ship builds against one another in like test scenarios. So if you want to learn more about that, there's a tournament room right below here, actually, from the Campfire chat, or right above it, I suppose. KB asks if free will is going to be tweaked. I feel it's also necessary to have a fleet. Yeah, I do answer that. I actually did open a PR during actually unstable period that for a lot of the earlier free worlds missions knocks down the ship count a little bit. The later free worlds missions aren't actually that bad. They're like upwards, or I suppose lowered towards 10 ships, which isn't that bad when you consider it like a fight dynamic. But when the earlier missions have like 20, almost 30 ships, then those can definitely be pulled down to kind of better reflect those later missions. So, that being said, there's some more balanced efforts going on for free worlds, which should help make it easier. There's been a lot of missile changes over the years, and over time, those on top of the recent carrier changes have made things quite difficult. So we're going to look at rebalancing those again. Yeah. And maybe AI stuff. I know Azure was kind of cooking a PR for that. We can see what that's all about. But yeah, significant changes to missiles are planned. Missiles are powerful. But there's some other things kind of cooking in there too, so. What are the plans for the battleship? Ask Scottish. Oh, I'm sorry if you asked this on Twitch. I have two monitors open here. Or maybe you hopped over here. Right now, the battleship's kind of a person ship. Geffu, it's Geffu's person ship. Geffu is the one who redid all of the Navy sprites to be more in line with today's graphics for Endless Sky. And the battleship was kind of this fun little like what if scenario. But we're considering kind of putting it, if we do want to put it in the game, we're considering putting it like very late Wanderers. Maybe for like a kind of like a end fight ship or something. Doom's gonna probably talk about it here in the chat in a second because he's typing. I know he had some idea for it. I'm trying to rapid fire through these questions in chat here. Vaj asked if there are more things regarding the relay or the builders. I botched that name. Relay, yes. Some more like arbitrary lore blurbs I plan on in the future, and builders, certainly the same thing, from what I know with Becca. So, oh, I got a spam bot at my stream. Whoops, get out of here. Goodbye. Let's see. Also wondering about the pug, specifically the human pug department. Are things going to be added to the Over Rainbow Galaxy? No, probably not. Over the Rainbow is kind of the end game area. It's like a little red herring, I suppose, of the pug leading you outwards towards whatever spooky secrets they had out there. It's kind of meant to be the end of the game sort of thing. It's not meant to be here's a continuation where we left off. It's like the epilogue of the Free Worlds campaign. And then later on stuff will be like Wanderers or other things like that. So looks like I'm caught up that far. Last question, is the game focused around fleets? No, it is not. The game is intended to be focused around flying one or a few ships. However, it is not balanced.
I would
around
say
that.
the story is focused around that.
Yeah, the story is focused around it, like mission balance and stuff. Yes, but the game itself, you're free to do whatever you want, fleet-wise. But as for content, it's meant to be balanced around a few ships. But yeah, going solo is kind of like the intent of playing through the story. So yeah. Human pug department won't get more love. Well, a lot of the human pug is about free worlds. It's not really meant to be beyond that. It's meant to be they're like these strange aliens that interact with everything and interrupt the free worlds campaign. Then you have to fight against them, and they're gone. But you do get to know a little bit more about them through the Wanderers campaign. So, but yeah. Doom says yes to Battleship. The plan will appear in epilogue at the Wanderer campaign, more specifically, and he spoiled that comment. So I'm not gonna read it out loud. Azure is memeing again. Jimmy highly encourages people to attempt a solo light warship run, especially now that mass changes have been made. Fast ships are very nice for solo runs, although I definitely would say wait for the missile changes, even though light warships can handle missile changes better. That's the thing with the balances I've been testing with Free Worlds is I've been doing it in a Bastion. So I've been doing it in slower ships because predominantly people use faster ships, and I think that's one way to play, but we got to give a little love to those who are playing kind of the slower, bulkier ones.
I
Yeah.
pretty much always play with slower ships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
KB
I'm usually just maximizing on shields and just
yeah.
letting it take all the hits.
You don't think speed helps that much as warp core? I think it does, especially when you consider the speed of torpedoes and getting around stuff like the cruiser's front, at least, where it has all the gun ports. With more ships in the fight, less so, but that's kind of what I'm leaning towards to alleviating in the PR I made. That's my time in the Manta spent trying to stay behind the bigger ships. Yeah, that's what I mean, is you get around behind them and then they can't shoot in front of you. Fly around behind the transats.
But if you want to cheat, you can just kite around the fence around the system. So
yeah,
ships follow you and then they turn back and
yeah,
use
that's
that to
not
cheat.
really
Yeah.
meant to be a tactic in the fights. You can do it, but yeah. Your ship needs to pass enough to evade heavy damage, but tanky enough that it can take a few hits without exploding. In the free worlds, the current free worlds, yeah. And I think a lot of that does have to do with the missiles, so.
So later on, when you get piercing weapons, it's actually very strategy to just run through the battle
Yeah.
at full speed and just deal some hard damage that the enemy can't repair, and then they're just gonna wear them down over time.
Yeah.
It's not the fastest, but it works.
K-Bean, that's exactly what I was saying earlier. Specifically, every mission containing a few carrier. I think it's definitely a result of the carrier rework where it doubled the fighter count, and then the Lances also have more missiles. So I don't know if you were playing on unstable, if you were playing on the current stable, but I did pull back the missiles on the fighters, and missiles definitely need to be chopped a little bit. Unstable? Okay, yeah. So unstable, they lost a couple of their missiles, or a decent amount of them actually, but yeah. Are we going to get more light, medium warships capable of holding fighters, says Scottish Bro? In human space, probably not. We're pretty well off there with human ships. Maybe one or two more in like the Syndicate campaign. But in alien fleets, maybe. Really depends. There's already a few out there already, like the Ibis from the Remnant. That's one of my favorites. The Judicator from the Heliarchs will eventually be one. No, we're not talking Corrugate Iraqi, but I do want to get into that a little bit later. I know, the Ares is my favorite ship. It's ass, but it got 2 more bays, so it's a little less ass. Definitely my favorite ship. No, my favorite ship in general is the TF-109, because I love the whole fighters are kind of the design dynamic of that ship. It looks like a Christmas tree. The fork? What? People are just saying words now. Devs will we ever get more lore regarding the Drak or Archons or the Firstborn?
Some
on the Drak and Archons, probably, but I don't know about the Firstborn. If it's some for the Drak at all, it's going to be probably very subtle and very, like, a little bit. It's not going to be like, here's a novel explaining the Drak, or what they were. They're better left off being like the Tier 5 strange aliens of the galaxy controlling it that we don't know much about, so yeah. Firstborn's what the Archons call the Drak. Are you sure? I thought that Firstborn, we should leave them out. Yeah, I think Firstborn was kind of an idea from the earlier days of Endless Skies, so I wouldn't say anything solid about them being part of the game. Yeah,
I think the only reference is from the Quarg, and
they're dead.
effectively said they are extinct.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, but That's kind of one of those. It's good to leave in the background of the lore rather than go and explain everything from the beginning. Like we're not going to give lore of the Big Bang or something like that. Yeah. Yeah. First ones are actually the Drac, but the Drac gaslit themselves into thinking they weren't. I don't know about that one. Yeah. I guess you think of it this way: there's not really anyone alive that's been around long enough to be able to tell you more about them anymore. Besides the Drac, and the Drac are, you know, on their own plane of interaction. So.
I suppose the Pug might have been around.
Yeah.
Do we know when they arrived?
I don't know. I don't want to go as far as to say as the Pug were so omnipotent that they were just there for everything. It does sound like them, but I don't, yeah. Okay. Last question, be damned. Can the core Moretti's self-detonation be reduced? No. We're not going to make it easier for you to get ships just to make it easier for you to get ships. That's
You cut out.
Oh, did I? I just said no, we're not going to decrease the self-detonation on the automata ships because the only reason why we would do that is to make them easier to capture, and that's not a good reason to do it.
Why not?
I'm sorry. If you want them...
Why does it have to be so painful?
Yeah. If you're running out of what it is. Save. Be a hacking minigame. I don't know if that's sarcasm or not, but we very much want to avoid putting minigames in the sky. It's a very strong belief.
Also, my Tetris plugin isn't gonna become a thing.
Yeah. Complete a captcha. Thank you for the follow, Pure, on Twitch. Okay, so I think now's a good time to go into the submitted questions, and then we can jump back to chat from here, because there's not very many submitted questions, and some of these were kind of already answered. So, let's see. First question here is kind of a long one, so I'm going to summarize it. Or no, I guess I can just read it. I looked at them very briefly, Warp. Hope you have a nice day. I have a question about a feature I think would be nice to the game, but I don't know how exactly it would work. Crew experience system. This seems more like a feature request than a question. Crew experience system in two ways: ship operations and boardings, higher ship experience, more responsive or boosting performance, or casualty, like lessening casualties, or a crew tab. Might add what kind of crew characters the player might try to protect. So the thing with crew is it's intentionally left ambiguous, especially because you can just hire a crew everywhere in the galaxy. It's kind of more meant to be streamlined as a mechanic, just simply as you have more crew or they have less crew. The nuance that comes to boarding and stuff like that's meant to be more with the outfits, with hand-to-hand combat. And so I don't think we would expand the crew system. And we definitely want to avoid having specific crew members because we're trying to make it more simpler and just let you get crew anywhere without saying, oh, this is alien crew, oh, this is human crew. It's more gameplay convenience over realism here. But if you, in general, are looking for a little bit more in depth for capturing, that's always been kind of on the table. It's just a matter of how we go about it, so.
You can have a pretty big fleet with potentially thousands of or tens of thousands of crew, and I just don't see how the system could manage that. Like having individual crew members on that order of magnitude is just not going to be any kind of like humanly manageable option. Yeah. I don't think.
Peacemaker asks, but some alien crews are more powerful. Why can't I hire aliens? Alien crew is kind of more meant to be The differences are for boarding and capturing their ships. It's not supposed to be there to make your ship better to capture with. No. Pure asks, sorry if this is asked already, but it's your biggest priorities for the next unstable patch. Balancing the free worlds more, and the Korg revamp, which I will talk about a little bit later today. And well, for me, this is particularly me. This isn't for all of us. And some more Gegno content. I do have some of that written. I kind of want to PR it soon. So, Patir 2, I do want to review Patir 2. Patir 3, no.
Yeah. For me, I'm planning to continue the work on the music system.
That sounds good.
Yeah,
it will be an effort, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
It's good that you're working on that and I'll provide feedback too. I know there's some other the code devs are looking at it as well. Some other code reviewers too. Okay, next question in the sheet is not I think we get this question every time now. It's not the Republic campaign. It's will the ABGI be merged? And then, no, stop asking. They've been merged. Don't worry, it was a while ago. Question after that is, will there be more content for the successors, Encypias, and ABGI? ABGI, yes. There's actually more being written right now by Azure. He said no, but don't listen to that. Successors, I've seen Derry poke her head in here every now and then. She's kind of busy in real life, but she does want to come back and write a little bit more for them. So I can't really give a timetable on that, but eventually. The Encypias, not sure yet. The Encypias are
in
kind
the
of
long run,
Go ahead.
yes, for us,
Yeah.
but not necessarily right now.
Yeah, not at the moment. Here's a question that Warp is like, what the heck is this? What are your favorite Now Talk and or Zochira, or how do you say that, Doom? Zochira? Zochira. Ships. And considering only 3 people in this entire Discord have seen the sprites for them, I don't think we can answer this question very well. Okay, someone dropped it in the chat room. I mean, I watched you make these, so I can't answer that really. And I made the other ones. I don't have a fancy sheet to show the ones I made. Isn't there a screenshot? Do I have a screenshot of the ones I made? Can you look in that
The
chat?
one in the center looks a bit like a war dragon, but red.
Huh. Yeah, but does it look like the old War Dragon or the new one?
The old one. And it's a different color scheme, but the shape is pretty similar.
Hold on, I'm trying to find my screenshot. Sorry for Twitch viewers, I won't be able to. I can pull them up on screen if there's people who want me to show them. Here's the closest thing I have to my screenshot of ships. The green ones are the ones I made, so they're like the civilian or like the more. I don't know how Duin put them. Zora casually dropping some ships they've made. Or but yeah.
That reminds me of Sora's ship reminds me of some early cargo transport designs from the Star Trek universe.
Is that what Scottish Bro said, the Romulan? Can we get a ship that resistance would be futile against?
An Archon.
Yeah, pretty much. Iraqi casually putting Coalition campaign spoilers into the chat too. Oh, Doom said Zochira.
Zochira.
Yeah. Zochira. Borg cube. That's kind of relevant to the Korg talk. We'll get to that. Okay. Next question in the sheet is Jimmy here. I know that first question was you, by the way. You can't lie. Or the previous one. I'm aware that Doom's Priorities Wonders 3 was the 2 list for getting the Nell talk in the game. That's more of a Doom question, but overall I'd say it's not a high priority at the moment.
I think the to-do list is
A little,
pretty much everything needs to
Yeah.
get written.
yeah, but the never talk. Mostly writing at this point, yeah. Getting it into the game though is writing, PR, review. The review takes a long time. The review can take anywhere between, I'm gonna say 4 months because that's where Becca's species took long, to 2 years, which is where like the Abgi and kind of a lot of other species did. The game now took over a year. The Benordia took over several years actually, considering the conceptual phase of it. The Incapias, that was kind of shorter. That was like a year. But yeah, I would just say assume a year or longer. I know it's a little long, but there's a lot that goes into it. Few ship images, few up images, yeah, stuff like that. Now we're just posting. Now we're just posting cursed images of old Republic ships.
Is that like MZ's design or?
I'm pretty sure this is one of those plugins.
Yeah, it's definitely spliced, I would say. So those engine blocks are interesting.
What's next? Do you have to be on Discord for the challenges? If you mean for the tournaments, I would assume so, yeah. It's a question for Zora. Yeah, I'd poke Zora in chat. How else would you submit? Yeah, so it'd probably be a Discord thing, yeah. The whole Discord, or sorry, Zora's a community organizer on the Discord, so it would be Discord events. So yes, based on Discord. There's a question in the chat. Oh, I mean, yeah, he's not in VC. Someone can. Yeah, there we go. Someone's asking there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more like a Discord community thing because it was made by a Discord community manager. So. Yeah. There's one more question here, and actually, it's not really a question. It's more of a. I think it's like a thank you letter. I'll read it out loud, and then we can start moving towards chat since that's where most of the questions are coming now. I've been playing this game since a long time, but never really engaged the community until now. I've been really impressed with how the game evolves with years and more interested in contributing myself if there's a need for it. I have a basic understanding of how the game uses its data files and more technical oriented person with C++ experience, not so much storytelling or game design. Is there a need for help in an area in that moment? I'll probably be looking to make plugins first either way. Thanks a lot for this amazing project I've benefited from for so long. I gotta speak for Ty where we're always welcoming people who can work on the code? Question mark.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a matter of getting used to the nuances of how we work with the code, what we prioritize, how the structure is set up, what we do and don't do, kind of thing. So, if you can go on GitHub and you find some issues of something that hasn't been put in the game yet, that someone made a feature request for, then by all means, see what you can do with it.
And if you're looking for ideas, we have 854 open issues on GitHub for new features or bugs or whatever, both in terms of content and code features. You can make plugins from that, content for the base game also. Pretty much everything is up there. You know, the code side of things, the music system is one of the big things that is going to be happening these days. So if you want to get involved with that, there is a thread in the content creating channel. You can just look at that for what the current progress is like, what the future plans are like, and I suppose that's the best way to get involved with that.
Did we lose voice chat? No, I'm sorry, I was typing.
Oh.
How dare I? Yeah. Alright, well, that looks like it's all the submitted questions, so we can move on to chat here.
I think we actually missed a question.
Did I?
If you can see the one I've selected.
Hold on, I accidentally closed out of it. Let me reopen it. Submissions. Which one?
Can you see it?
Don't
I can see where you guys are in the dock.
Yeah, I don't see you outlining.
It's the one that came in at 04 minutes. Yeah, I just don't want to say it because I know it's a bit of a thing for Saugia right now, so...
Oh, that one. Okay. Has hard build been removed to the back burner, or where is it going? It's still something we'd like to look at. Warp's answer is pretty much what it is. It's just when it happens. So it's one of those other projects where, like, with bigger parts of the game, it takes a while to kind of sit down and see where all we want to take it, or review it or such. So. Paid DLC. Will new galaxy lore drop? No. We're just doing the one galaxy. New galaxies are what plugins are for. There's so much space for new plugins galaxies.
Yeah, but did they mean new lore about this galaxy or lore about a new galaxy?
Well, new galaxy lore about this galaxy. I mean, I don't know. Talk about the Milky Way. What would you imagine there be more lore of? I guess I don't really understand when new species would be that lore. I guess if you mean history of the Milky Way, probably not a lot. Kind of talking about with the whole Firstborn Drac stuff earlier, so there's not really many people around to talk about what that would be. Astronomical history? That might be a thing.
But we do have, like, special areas like the Ember Waste or the...
Yeah.
Whatever that new area is called. The one with all of the shrouded systems.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we do have those areas of the galaxy that have lore.
Did we have a campfire chat after we added the Abgi or before?
I think we had several both before and after. I'm not sure what you mean.
Did we merge the Abgi after our last campfire chat, or was that before? I don't remember.
It had to be before if it was in the unstable.
Okay. Yeah. I gave a really cool space telescope. Glam asks, is the star system with space droplets and space trees meant to be a joke, or is it canon? I mean, it's in vanilla, so it's part of the game. It's kind of meant to be like a... Asura says, I sure hope it's canon, given the amount of work I put into it. Yeah, there are no jokes that are in the game in vanilla, like, actively part of vanilla. That's all meant to be canon and part of the game.
Well, mostly. There are like placeholders for some stuff.
Speaking of placeholders, do I talk about it now?
I think it's time.
Okay, did I ask you specifically though? No, we have work to do. Okay, what work is this? What work do I have to do before I can talk about it? The work that never ends. It's a good segue. Yeah, speaking of placeholders, for those of you who don't know, a couple years ago in 2023, and then again a couple years before that, back in 2018, there was efforts to move the Korg from being placeholder to actually having like their own little roster, and we hate them when removing the Korg. Hector's right, no more Korg. I'm kidding. So in 2018 there was efforts to do that, and not everyone was like sure on the designs or what all to do with the Korg, and that kind of slowed down in pacing. And 2 years ago I picked that back up again, trying to get it as a project to move it along and try and get those, you know, aging placeholder ships actually balanced and give them a proper ship design and logistics. And actually just yesterday, after doing a bunch of work with Doom and Iraqi and Gefu, Carrie, a lot of people in DMs, and not only that, but in the project channel and some channels in just over time, I finally got a PR open, and we are gonna have a Korg revamp. So a while ago, in those 2 years ago, we ended up choosing a design direction for the Korg, and that was more towards the Skylark style, which is the kind of harder sci-fi, darker colors. And the War Dragon style, it kind of seems more pug than anything, so it didn't really kind of fit with the Korg's vibe with like ring worlds and their weapons and such. That being said, the War Dragon that you all know currently will still be kind of kept as it will be kept as Pester's person ship. It will still be part of the game in a sense. That being said, there are a ton of brand new designs for the War Dragon, and four more new Korg ships that are coming with Korg. The Skylark did get deprecated, so it won't be part of the Korg anymore. Because its design in itself was a little bit aging, but there is kind of a ship that replaces its role as a freighter, so upgraded with the stats of the new Korg heavy warship. The Pug War Dragon. Yeah. Doom says, speaking of the Arfecta, that's getting nerfed. Yeah. So the Korg in the Arfecta, so all the tier 3 stuff has been placeholder for so long, and it's been wildly out of balance. Skylance is crazy broken. Arfecta, pretty strong. So now that we've actually had time to sit down and look at what tier 3 would actually be and how that would interact with the current content, especially considering the Korg fighting the Heliarchs is meant to be part of the Coalition campaign, we kind of had to balance things around that. So now the Korg are more balanced where tier 3 would be, and the Pug will follow with them. So yeah.
But are the high DPI Pug ships?
Sorry?
Someone is asking for the high DPI Pug ships. I think I saw them
High
in the
DPI
high
Korg
DPI
ships?
repo, but
What do you mean?
the high DPI sprites for the ships.
Did you want me to send them? Because the PR is open.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry.
that's
So
confused as well.
I want to give him I want to give him some props. I didn't mention Todd. Todd is the one who made the new designs. Todd, huge props to Todd, because he's been putting up with me bugging him like every 6 months or something, 4 months, 2 months, 3 months, whatever, if he can work on the Korg designs. It's it's pretty cool because Todd did the original Korg redesigns, and once we kind of settled on a specific design for the newer stuff, he also did those. They look great. So, and I don't want to rush him into making the rest of the Korg ships because there are at least 5 more planned. But there are some really good designs. So, enough to put into an initial PR and actually have the Korg properly, you know, not placeholders. You don't see 2x sprites in the PR. Jimmy, if you're looking at the PR to the main repository, we don't PR the 2x sprites to the... Oh, okay. Here, let me see if I can double check. No, they're there. They're right there. You're blind. Oh, yeah, that's not my problem. Okay, I'm kidding. Yeah. Buzz says, there's mention of humans building upon the graveyard to other species, so I'm interested in learning more about what kinds of things there used to be on the human side of the galaxy. There already is mention of that in the game, that old human space, some of it was Shiragi space, and there's some archaeology missions there that kind of explain that a little bit already. And some of it was, I think, high space? Or builder space? One of the two? And that's also kind of hinted towards that, so... Ancestors? Oh, the successor stuff. Yeah, I think there might be something going on there too. So there might be a little bit more than that, but I guess it's kind of like we don't want to go and explain every single time period or everything that happened in the galaxy's lore just out in plain and day. It's better to let that stuff be left to the imagination. So it depends on what is going to come up in those stories, I guess. Yeah, some it was high. Yeah, that's what I thought. The high used to be a lot bigger than they were now. What if you don't have an imagination, though? Is this the I can't imagine an apple question? Can you imagine a realistic apple in your head? Drugs? Yeah, go get the hallucination drugs in the one mission series. Rotate a cow in your head? Are you trying to get that song stuck in my head? Vecta, hello on Twitch. Hello Vecta, I haven't seen you in a little while. Needs more angry, unnecessarily large plasma cannon. That is a comment. I'm not playing that type, that's gonna probably be loud for stream.
It doesn't have sound actually.
Are you lying to me? Oh no, it doesn't. Okay. Where's the stream? It's the announcement I added everybody. It's just Twitch stream. It's not much different. Here, I can link it in chat. Hold on. It's my Twitch channel. Keep in mind that my Twitch channel is not a representation of the Endless Sky as a whole. It's just my personal channel. Some of us stream on YouTube, some of us stream in Discord, so... That's why Saugia added 16 ads to it. I don't add the ads to it! Twitch does. I'm partnered, which lets me do some things that are a little bit better with Twitch. And I have ads turned off, but Twitch is Twitch, and there are a few ads at the start every stream, so... Yeah.
But you could add more ads to it.
I want to be nice. I'm not trying to make a dime off this. I'm just trying to stream to people. Been working. Twitch viewing went down a lot. Okay. Well, it's nice to see you around, Vecta. I know my streams have been kind of sporadic as well. Iraqi spilled chalky milk over the shroud.
Yeah.
And that's why you can't see it. Oh. Well, now you gotta blame Iraqi. No wonder you're in Azure alt.
total server messages. I mean, you could use the search feature, but
In the top right, just type your name and then from your name, and then I think that should show you how many
Yeah.
you have. What's the status of the music? That's a question for Type.
So for the end users, it's pretty much the same as was before. We do have volume controls and stuff, which will be relevant for music, but most of the work that's going on is still under the hood, and there isn't like anything exposed yet.
Yeah.
So currently the latest stuff that is up on GitHub is a bit of a rework of how we handle audio files and audio processing, which will let us do fancy effects and layering for music later on.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one step along the way. Yeah. And there are actually people who are writing music for the game. There is a lot of stuff that's already done, and I'm going to try to get you a link to that repository. And there are also ongoing works and people who have volunteered to write more in the future. The issue with free stuff is that it's really hard to make a consistent soundtrack with them.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed, and actually there are some classics that we might end up using as placeholders.
Yeah, it's just
I know
about
that
trying to get like an overall consistent music style into the game, which I think we're kind of leaning towards more ambient than lyrical or heavy instrumental stuff like that. Maybe a little bit more orchestral in a way. Yeah.
I've seen a couple of suggestions that we should just have the Blue Danube waltz for like general calm space music, and then switch over to Daspo Zarathustra, or however that's pronounced, and you visit a ring world or something. If you know that reference, you will understand why that was a suggestion, but yeah. That would just be a placeholder anyway.
I did see a comment back asking if the Korg are the last placeholder ships, and yeah, they are. With the Korg being updated, everything in the game has been updated, and or everything that really needs to be updated. But there, I do find it funny, Jimmy, that the one thing that we'd like to add with existing ships is the more pug ships, and that's the one faction you don't like. Now that Becca's here, oh no, Becca's not in the chat. I don't think he is. No. Becca would be. I'd like him to work more on the tier 2 pug ships. I think that'd be cool. Yeah. When is the timer PR going to get merged? I don't know, but I kind of agree with that. That's been around for a while. Is it still broken, or what's wrong with it? Jimmy, if you want to take a jab at the pug ships, go ahead and try. It might be a little bit awkward to try and stay within their design style, though, because I know you don't like it. Redesign the whole style? Yeah, no, we're not doing that. The pug ships look great. Becca did a really good job updating them. I saw the comment, Budge. If you want to send me something, go ahead. And I think it's funny that you say Sagittarius. My name's Saugia is just something I came up with. I forget when back in the day, and eventually I kind of tagged the A star on it because it did look like Sagittarius. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who are the Avgi? It's a new species.
How does anyone go through the campaign without deeply hating the bloody pug? It's actually not that hard. And I would actually prefer the pug to the quark. Like, and I think the morality of the quark is just kind of worse than the pug. And they're also just dumb.
Oh, you can here. I'm gonna copy this and put it in the chat, Bose, because I think that's something worth just mentioning. The Dracs show up as a government here in these center systems. Is that something intentional because of Cyabin? I know it's because of Cyabin, but do we want that to appear? Adds mystery. It depends on how much realism we worry about, because you won't. Maybe you jump over into that core system, you don't know the Drac are there, but then you see Drac and you're like, huh? I guess it depends on how we want to worry about that. So thanks for bringing it up, though. That is something. That is something to mention. Fun fact: Hector is a Sagittarius. I'm a Virgo. I think. I don't really pay attention to that kind of stuff that much. Really? I said this. Someday in the distant future, I will make a really plug-in, and they will actually be a species, but not in vanilla. You really become the trolley. So I guess not once addressed the fact that I call him Saugia basically daily. That's because it's such an old joke to me. Like, that's been my username for a long time now. I just glance over that. Autocorrected my name. That's funny. What are we getting some sort of start though? Nenya doesn't have that? Yeah. Maybe the system probably... I'm wondering, does one of the systems have the Drac government? That's probably why it's showing up. Maybe that should just be inhabited. And the Drac shouldn't own the territory or something.
Yeah, they really shouldn't.
Yeah.
What mission is that even needed for?
Back to Twitch says popping homemade cider, some food, we chillin' today. Sorry I didn't read that sooner, but yeah, we chillin'. Rocky got Thanos snapped? Oh no. Yeah, the pug would be the ones that made the trolley problem. They make it impossibly difficult, and then they laugh at you for whatever you do. And then leave.
No. They wouldn't make it impossibly difficult. That's the entire point of the pug.
I guess, yeah. They would make it hard to resolve, but like...
They would put you right there with the lever to control the tram and everything.
Yeah.
They will glue your hand to the lever.
Or pinging people. Oh, it's the channel ping. Yeah, you can always just mute the channel. That's meant for this channel in general. make some decent music with ambient. Not my expertise, but I can do it. If you're interested, you can kind of, if you want to like prototype some things and throw it into the thread in content creating or something like that, you could probably do that. Good day. Hello, GG Gamer. I keep forgetting that's your actual Discord name. I always think you're like, that's your name on my Twitch, and then like warps you to like, you know, your username, and then you're like someone else on Discord, but yeah. First time chatter in my Twitch chat, K-Bean's over there now saying, I've heard to say design a ship and it fit really well with human tech and I started a PR. I do have to say, human ships, it's extremely difficult to get a new one into the game because we think we have plenty of human ships. There's way more human ships than any other ships in the game. And they aren't really in need of anything new. Except for maybe one or two things in like a story, which are I think somewhat planned already, but if you're just trying to get a ship in the game because you think something looks cool, that's not a good reason to get one in the game. If you want to add a cool looking ship to the game, the best thing to do would be a plugin, not for the vanilla game. Yeah. And it's a lot because frankly that there's too many human ships. Last time I counted, and there's probably more, there were 60 human ships, and the next most ships in the game was 30, and that was the Korath. And that was including the Automata too, which is a whole separate faction to the other Korath, so.
How many do the High have?
I think they had like 20 something. Let's see.
Does that include the Unfettered?
Include what?
The Unfettered. They have some unique ships.
Well, they do have the Sea Scorpion. And then also the Solitude.
And the Carrier.
Yeah.
And the Drone.
I would say around 20. KB asks to know why no human faces. A long time ago we did have portraits, but we felt it was best to remove them and have them kind of more up to the imagination rather than explicitly show this is a person, this is an alien. There are some images from the old Pre-Worlds campaign which we kind of left in there as like part of what MZ made the game with, but I don't remember if MZ was around for the decision either. Maybe he didn't also like the portraits, but it's hard to model or make images for aliens that fit with human images, so we didn't want to do that. And also we don't use AI, so we're not going to have AI generate something similar or anything like that. I saw a question about the devs being open to DMs. I'm pretty sure we all are. It's just a matter of how long it takes for us to get back to you. AI barf emojis, says K-Bean. Yeah, it does depend on who you want to ask what. Like, you couldn't ask Doom something about the code. You couldn't ask me something about the code. You couldn't ask Tybe something about how to make a model in Blender. unless I'm wrong.
No. I can't even do the basic stuff. Like, I would look at the tutorial and just fail.
Hello, Novian. Are you in the channel? Okay, no, you're not. I'm just gonna wait for the emote. Code devs Blender questions. Code devs could understand Blender. You'd be like code has a lot of value for if you're going into like 3D art and animation and stuff like that. I know like a little bit in After Effects and stuff like that, but not like any like main languages or anything. So yeah. Hector says, "Can I DM you about my plan to add crypto coins?" I'll get back to you on that one. KBN asks, specific one for you, Tybe. How do you download the sounds plugin? If you're talking about the 3x changes, he meant if you don't like them, make your own plugin and delete the ones you don't like.
I think they meant or the music plugin by Sam that I
Oh,
linked.
if you mean the music plugin,
Uh,
that's more of a it's a little bit beyond a plugin.
yeah, that won't actually work
Yeah.
with the game,
Yeah.
but it does have sounds in a compatible format. So
It was more like a reference to show
yeah,
kind of what we're looking at for the music, or where it kind of
yeah,
started. Not really something that's functional with the current
I think that
game.
has most of the music that was written. If I link the right one, then I think that should have most of it.
Yeah. All right, Deb's serious question. Serious answer. Next question. Oh, you're making hummus? Nice. I love hummus. Hummus and pita bread goes so good. I'm gonna get yelled at for how I pronounce that, I'm pretty sure.
Is there a planet where the ocean is soup?
If you mean
I
the
mean,
relay
that's
planet that's pink, yes, kind of. People call it that, but that's not. I wouldn't call that soup. That's not really soup. It's not an ocean either. It's life. I don't know how to put it.
yeah, but what differentiates it from soup? Like just any ocean. Like it's water with like stuff.
Is oatmeal a cereal or soup?
Aren't all cereals soup?
Yes. That's a good answer. Oatmeal is soup. Everything is soup. Why are you buying clothes at the soup store? Leek and potato soup. Launders will turn into relay soup and eat them. They're really into soup. No, the opposite's gonna happen. The Wanderer's gonna touch that shit and turn into soup.
But can the Wanderers even eat soup?
We,
Like,
we should nuke the soup.
Okay,
Are you
so-
an Archon?
Archons don't use nukes. They don't
Are
have
you
them.
telling me an antimatter projectile isn't the same thing as a nuke? Or it doesn't do the same thing as a nuke?
No, it's way worse.
Yeah. I can also make bread. That actually takes some effort. Like I used to know some guys in school who, I knew a guy who like made like really good bread, and it takes a lot to make actually good bread. Like it's really easy to mess up. It takes effort to go to shop and buy some bread. No, I watched him bake it. Bread making NES. Oh, there's some bread. Point of view, you live in Norway and the closest big city is 30 minutes away. I live in a kind of a outback town, and the closest bigger town is 45 minutes away. Hot pockets are the weapon the Korg fear. How many people are in my town? I don't know. Not a lot. I don't know what you consider a lot to be. I also don't want to dox myself by saying the exact number. Yeah, no, I'm not doxing myself. I don't think it's like 100,000. It's less than 100,000, that's for sure. So it's not like, you know, your millions or hundreds of thousands cities. Saugia's already doxed me. You doxed yourself. No, no. I live in a society. Alright, well now we're kind of chatting, we're hanging out, which is cool. It's been about an hour 18 minutes. Usually we go for either an hour 30 or 2 hours at most for these things, so we could go another 13 minutes and we'll see from there. If there's any other questions or things you guys want to talk about with us, or sandwich alignment chart. Core revamp merged when? I do want to get back to the PR and look at what all you suggested. There's some things Doom wanted me to do to it. I'm not the one merging it, so I don't decide that, because it's my PR, so I don't want to merge it. Could you add 4 more turrets? No. All merged, it says, sure. Could even be in this update. It's 100% going to be in this update. I don't know what you're talking about. It better be. In fact, I think it'd be better to merge it earlier on so we can test that and make sure nothing wonky is happening. Same thing with the balance changes and other stuff. I don't like the Remnant will be a campaign to beat them up. Probably nothing like that, no. You can just do that, yeah. Like if you want to side with the Korath or something, just go shoot remnant ships. It's like saying you don't like humans and you just go shoot the humans. When will it be nerfed? When will it not be nerfed? The Arfecta? Oh, the Sparrow. Why do we want to nerf the Sparrow? Or is that a joke? I think it's a joke. Sparrow is not OP. When are we buffing it? Making it a better starter ship. Giving it 2 heavy lasers instead of 2 beam lasers. Smile. 2 skylights. Yeah, Korg update. Sparrows now have skylights for no reason whatsoever. It's supposed to be hard. Well, it can be hard and it can't be hard. It can be hard in that you play like a pirate with the Sparrow and do combat, or you do bounty hunting, or you can just mine with it. Stargate,
supposed to be hard is a bad idea because we don't tell the player that it's supposed to be hard. So when you're starting out, like.
I think, quote, something being hard for an intro, or sorry, a starting point would be better for like a specific start and not just the 3 basic starts. Stargate, Star Trek, or Star Wars. I'm biased. I'm a Star Wars fan, but I'm a Star Wars fan in the legacy universe and novels and games, not the new stuff. Stargate's kind of cool. Star Trek's kind of cool. I'm surprised you didn't put Babylon 5 in there too, because that's kind of a bigger one. Stargate, cool.
But it's older.
It is older, yeah.
I think.
Doesn't have star in the name.
Actually
Whatever.
Whether than TNG, but
Star Fox. that's based. Babylon 5 is small. It is small, but for the audience makes it seem so much bigger than it is as a franchise. I think there's some pretty neat stuff in Babylon 5. It is kind of goofy. It is that older kind of goofy sci-fi, but there's some cool things in it. I mean, you could also say Dune, but Dune's not. Dune's like something else, I guess. Dune's cool. One of the Gegna missions is based on Dune. I'm surprised, or not surprised. I was going to say, I wouldn't be surprised if someone knew what they were because they're very blunt. Which part of Dune that they're a reference to. Intersections in real time. Tell me it's goofy. Is that one of the? Oh, Battlestar Galactica. That's another one too. Yeah. I'm gonna need shower, so leaving. Bye bye. See you, Raki. I expect your presence later. Really, Lasgun? I heard the books are good. And I've actually heard some people say that Dune's going to be the Star Wars of the younger generation, and that kind of has me feeling mixed ways. It does. The movies are pretty good. They're not like amazing, and if you look back at Star Wars older movies, they were kind of goofy in their own right in some aspects. So like, there's not really like a hard comparison there. But I am interested to see where Dune goes, because for what I know that's in the books, there's actually a lot more movies to come. Because what we've seen so far in the movies is only like the surface of it, I think. They spin off Dune. Tall stormtrooper hitting his head in the door. Yeah, I remember that. Spirit kind of sucks as a mining ship. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a path you can do. And yes, you can change the channel status, but the second I see someone do something they shouldn't, no more campfire chat or something. I don't think we can restrict that. Do it. Horse. Okay, that's gonna start spamming now that people know that.
Is Jimmy another Azure art?
Sorry? What did you say?
Oh, I just asked if Jimmy was another art of Azure.
Don't you
And
both do the
that's-
same major? I think you both do the same. You're in the same major. I would 100% believe that Jimmy is in his role. Yes. No.
Oh yeah, bullshit in aerospace.
Yeah. Or some major. Get back to the dev mines. We need a Navy campaign core goal by this time next month. We'll see where we go with the main campaign, but I do want to get to something on that this year. But that's about most I can say on that. Or I have the atomic license plan to be acquirable. Ask Azure. I would imagine eventually.
We can to just capture those ships.
That does remind me back to the. I was gonna add a little bit, like a tiny bit more Gigno content, but I guess while you all are here, would you prefer I add a few more Gigno missions every major update, or take a while and write out like a big chunk of the campaign and then drop that once in a while? Because right now I have some missions set up to the point where you at least have access to a planet with an outfitter, so you can fight your own Gigno outfits, but not buy them. But like if you, I don't know, took some from the Buy the Sin and didn't kill that many of them, then yeah. But big chunks. I think you should remove a few Gigno missions every update. Drop a huge portion of campaign every update. I can't write that much, but Augen legitimate, no. Right now, like very briefly, the missions I've planned are, so the station you have the mining jobs, then you work up to get more like better paying mining jobs, which probably should have been in the PR before. And then something happens on the station, you help them out with it, and they're jump to a civilian planet and jump back, and then they give you access to one of the other civilian planets. It's just that's like it's kind of that much so far, but eventually I want to make it so that the missions start taking you out to the other Gegna planets until at least all of civilian space is open, and then there's like going to be a big event. So maybe I write up to that point and then PR that, and then the big event would be the next big chunk of the campaign or something like that. At the very least, I think maybe at least PRing something to give an outfitter will let people who aren't as interested in the story play with the outfits at least. But I want to draw a line. If you're out there murdering thousands upon thousands of Gegno, they're gonna stop letting you land, even if they're not civilians. Like at some point, you're being a nuisance. Who should you talk to regarding lore? Lore of what? No strong preference either way, but access on the outfits is important for new species PRs. I can agree with that, but I don't think that needs to be for every species. I don't think every species needs their outfits to be available right away, and that's kind of what I'm doing at the Gegno intentionally, is I'm making it so that you really have to work hard to work their favor, because they're the first alien faction example that I put in the game where it's not just you go to an area, you talk to a few aliens, they translate for you, you can now buy half their stuff. And I think that's boring to an extent. So I added the Gyartno as kind of a difference to that, where they want nothing to do with you. And for you to get involved with them, you have to poke your nose in. Like, you really have to poke your nose in. And then once you prove yourself that you can do hard work and this and that, then they'll start letting you do stuff. And then eventually you can maybe join their wars or something in like a limited factor. But the idea is it's a faction in the game that does not like being friendly to outsiders. Like, they want to deal with their own thing. They're younger species. They have a lot of conflict internally. They don't care if the Korg come by. They don't care if the Pug come by. They want to do their own thing. They'll fight you if you don't let them do that too. So, yeah. You don't have to ask to steal stuff. I mean, yeah, go ahead. Make 2 saves. Be evil. Do it. Just, you know, play around with them. Isolationists. No, they're not intentionally isolating. I'm not sure how to put it. They understand there's a larger galaxy out there because the Korg came by, but they want nothing to do with it. They're more focused on themselves, like their own internal conflict, before anything else. They're not isolating themselves from the rest of the galaxy. They just want more attention on that. I guess you could say it is kind of an isolation, but it's not. They hate the rest of the galaxy. It's that they want nothing to do with it while they're worried on their own. Isolationist, yeah, okay, yeah. See your current government. Okay, then yeah. That is kind of what it is, yeah. Give them tons of alien technology to fuel the Civil War. Let's not do that. But I guess, to put it this way, would the Gegno someday in the future, like beyond the time scope of the game, would they open up to other species? Someday, maybe. But yeah. Alright, we are now at the hour 32 mark. I would say we're kind of wrapping up here. I don't think there's not much to say more for the next 30 minutes, so... if there's any last minute questions, like rapid fire round here, go ahead and say them, and then we'll stop there. Timer PR. Yell at type or warp to look at that. I don't know. Let the CEOs talk for the last half hour. Is Zora in the channel? Oh, Zora is in the channel. It'd be you talking out loud to yourself though, because I don't think the others talk at all. I've heard Hector speak once. I know Zora asked the question. I didn't know if they were in the chat because sometimes they're not in here. Hector needs to step up. If you could be a soup, which type would you be? Tomato soup. Give everyone heartburn. Will there be more regarding Pug and builder relations? I don't know about Pug. Like the Pug's like a past thing with the builders. That'd be a question for Becca, I think. Or Quarg. Quarg with who? Quarg and builder relations. I don't think the Quarg were really super involved with the builders to begin with. What is your shield build for the tournament? I actually haven't really looked into that, but if I were to make a shield build for it, what are the rules? No like super strong weapons or cheats or whatever. I mean, if I want to go on theme, I would say disruptors and Gegno weapons, because I know Zora actually is interested in that, but I don't know. What was the question? What my personal shield beetle? I guess not precisely mine, but it was a question out loud to say what would mine be for the tournament. I just said disruptors and Gegno stuff because that sounds funny. It probably won't be very good though. I do like the Gegno. I had the thing of not wanting to do with you. It's perceptive some new content with each update seem a bit underbaked for now. Yeah. I will say in retrospect, I do think I wanted to have a little bit more content with them up until a point where you can access stuff. Even if that means the story will be a while before you can do it, but that is to say it is still retrospect, so most I can say now is I'm writing as much as I can for them until something playable is for them. Is in the game for them. They do go a little bit against the game design, yeah. I know the Benrodia intro also does that. Some other newer ones, Faction Sunday, could do some different things as well. Deadite Battle Royale? Yeah! Yeah, Zora, take notes. Maybe the next tournament can be making a Deadite, and then, because it only has a slot for one gun, that one gun is going to matter a lot, or something. Literally 1v1 with one gun in the game that can fit on it or something. Alright, well, I think that's it today for the Campfire chat. We've answered a bunch of questions, kind of sat down and chilled and chatted with you guys. So if you're new to these, we do these once a month, usually the first Saturday of every month. Unless, you know, something comes up or releases on that day, which usually shouldn't be. The next one, let's see on the calendar here. The next one should be the 5th of April. We'll see if we can do that. If we didn't get a chance to get your question asked or your question responded to today, go ahead and submit more questions into the submission box linked in the pins in the Discord. I think that's it. We are in the middle of our next unsaved release, very early on to it, so expect some more content to come later on. The release is scheduled for Oh, let's see. Was it late May? I think it's late May.
Yeah.
So. You always miss these. Glad I made it this time. Cheers. Yeah. Thanks for coming. I know it's kind of like a weird time. We try and do it like. So for me right now it's 4 o'clock Eastern, and then I know for the EU people it's what is it? Like 8 o'clock. Something to that effect. 10:30.
Right now it's 10:30.
Okay, yeah. So it's kind of like in the middle of the day on the weekends, what we normally do. So yeah, time zone moment. Yeah. Perfectly poorly my work schedule. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah. All right. Thanks to everyone for coming to watch the Campfire chat. Next one will be on the 5th of April, and we will see you then.
Bye.
See you.